with that, it is the beginning. So, for you folks who haven't met me in the crowd yet, I feel like I've been chatting to many of you for the evening, but some of you may have just joined a session that I am starting in. So my name is Jen. I want to welcome you all to this session this evening. I am the Student Recruitment Officer at the St. John's campus. And this is the information session for Humanities and Social Sciences. If for some reason you've entered the wrong room, you can jump back to the landing page and go to one of the other two sessions that is happening in room 2 or 3. But before we get going, and before I give the reins over to the Renees, I want to just let you folks know that your mics and cameras have been muted and turned off, just so that you can see the presenters a little bit better and we can hear them better. If you have any questions throughout this session this evening, you can attach them in the chat feature or the Q&A feature down below in WebEx. Just open that up, put your comments, put your questions in there, and we'll read them out at the end. Keep them on topic in relation to humanities and social science questions, and try to keep them less specific to you as a person, more general. We can't necessarily answer every single question tonight either, so I'm sure one of the Renees will let you know where you can direct your questions to if you have any further questions that we hadn't answered tonight. And with that being said, I would like to introduce you to Renee Shute and Renee Mercer, and I'll let you both take it from here and to present your information as needed. I'm going to slink in the background now.
Thanks, Jan. Hi, everybody. I'm Renee Shute. I'm the Academic Program Manager for Humanities and Social Sciences. My primary role is student advising. My co-worker is Renee Mercer.
Hi, everyone. I'm the academic advisor, and my primary role is academic advising and scholarships.
So tonight, what we're going to do is just do a brief run through of the programs available to students who decide to come to the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. So basically, students doing a Bachelor of Arts program. So I am going to share my screen and start the presentation. And Renee, if something goes wrong, you can let me know because you see the screen better than I do.
Will do.
Okay, so Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. Basically, HSS offers students the opportunity to develop skills around engagement, getting engaged, involved within communities and community issues. Students learn critical thinking, global thinking skills. They learn communication skills, skills in reading and writing critically, multitasking. There's a second language acquisition that's part of the BA. Students learn research, writing, and synthesizing, how they can collect data and put it together. They develop negotiation, public speaking skills, problem solving, decision making, teamwork skills, creativity, and time management skills. Time management is one thing that kept coming up in the student panels. So learning to be engaged is one of the main things that the BA gets students involved with. Within humanities and social sciences, we actually have 25 majors currently that are available for the BA program. There's an international Bachelor of Arts option. We have 2 joint degree programs, 7 certificate, and 7 diploma programs. So, what's basic requirements for a BA before we get into the types of BA? A BA requires 120 credit hours of coursework. For the BA, that works out to 40 courses. Those 40 courses typically take 4 years to complete. Typically, students do 5 courses in the fall, 5 courses in the winter. They get 10 courses in the fall and winter. 4 years, they have a BA. Now, of course, you can do it a lot slower if you like. If you're working, can't take a full load of courses, by all means, I have some students, instead of 5 and 5 courses, they'll do 4 in the fall, 4 in the winter, 2 over the summer, still get 10 courses and do it in 4 years. Other students go, no, I'm going to do 4 courses a semester and take 5 years. There is no time limit on the BA. If you need to do it slower because of work commitments and everything else in your life, that's no problem. The BA is quite flexible. When you get down to it, there's 4 components to your BA. A series of core courses every student does, a major program, a second program, which is a minor or another major, and electives. And electives give you a chance to kind of test the waters. Go out and see what classics is about, what medieval studies is about, what other languages you could learn. So while you do 2 areas of concentration within your degree, 2 different programs, the electives let you have some fun and try other things that might interest you. So what are the majors that are actually offered within HSS? We have anthropology, archaeology, classics, communication studies, criminology, economics, English, folklore, French, gender, geography, German, history. Law and public policy is a new program this fall. Linguistics, medieval and early modern studies, philosophy, political science, religious studies, sociology, Spanish. So they're the majors and secondary programs, minors, available within humanities and social sciences. There are also 4 majors or minors that you can take that are actually from the Faculty of Science, but can also be completed as a Bachelor of Arts. So students could also do computer science, mathematics, psychology, or statistics as a BA program. Some of the other BA options I mentioned, some joint degree programs. For a minimum of 135 credit hours, students can graduate with 2 degrees, a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science degree. Sometimes we get students do this, they just can't decide what they want to do, so they'll decide to do the joint degree, so they can get both their humanities and social science as well as the hard sciences. There's a joint BA BCom co-op program, and that for a minimum of 150 credit hours, you can get a Bachelor of Arts degree and the BCom co-op degree. We also offer something known as the International Bachelor of Arts. And the IBA program, excuse me, is 120 credit hours. You do everything that you would normally do for the BA, plus you're going to add, in working in those BA courses, 2 extra language courses and 8 international study courses, as well as an international experience, where you take 1 semester and you either do a study abroad semester, you go to another university in another country and take courses, or you arrange through the co-op office an internship program for a semester, where again, you travel internationally somewhere outside of Canada and you do an internship program. So those are some other BA options besides just the basic BA. And my mouse has fallen. Sorry about that. I have lost the batteries, and of course my keyboard is not gonna work for this. No, of course not. Give me a minute. Technical issues. As soon as I can see to put the batteries in. No, of course not. There. I've killed my mouse. Oh, there we go. It's back. Thank you. Sorry about that, folks. So, besides the Bachelor of Arts degree, Humanities and Social Sciences, as I mentioned, also offers certificate and diploma programs. Certificate and diploma programs are significantly less courses than a degree. Most certificates are 7 courses. Most diplomas are 10 courses. And basically, a certificate really just allows for an introductory preparation in particular areas, whereas diplomas do slightly more advanced coursework in, again, specific areas. And then, of course, degree is you do significantly more courses in a given field. So our 7 certificate programs are the ancient languages, criminology, film studies, food studies, the history and philosophy of science and technology. There's an indigenous studies and a Newfoundland and Labrador studies certificate. Certificates have no prerequisite requirements other than you be admitted to the university. So you can come in and do a certificate if you like. They're full credit courses. And pretty well all the courses in any certificate are then also applicable to a degree if you want to take that certificate and go on and do a degree. Diploma programs. Most of them require 30 credit hours or 10 courses. We offer diplomas in ancient worlds, creative writing, environmental humanities, just normal humanities, Northern Peoples, Lands and Resources. There's a stage and screen technique diploma and a new diploma in public policy. And again, all full credit hours. So if you come in and do a diploma and then decide, I'd really like to do a degree, you can take these courses and transfer them into your degree program. So that's the basics. For contact information, there's myself, the 2 Renees, and Renee Mercer. And I am going to, for now, just stop this presentation. And I'm going to give you our email addresses in the chat. So, should come up in the chat. There you go. If you'd like to contact either one of us about a specific program that we offer, certificate, diploma, degree program, by all means, feel free to email us. I will point out right now, we've just hit registration for the winter semester, so it is quite hectic and it will take us a while to get to your email, but we will get to you, trust us. I see Jen's back. Do we have?
There you go. Sorry, I was muted.
Oh.
Renee Mercer, I have a great appreciation that your email is just renee@mon.ca. You're the original Renee of Mon, it seems.
Sure, when email, I was here before email started at month.
We love it. We love it. We love an original email.
Yeah.
All right. I guess starting off, I think the fun point to say that out of all the sessions that we've done this far, this is the one that I actually fit into. So I actually did a Bachelor of Arts and I actually continue to still do courses in HSS. I'm actually working on a certificate of Indigenous Studies currently. So I do have some level of personal investment into this one. So I can be your guest student in some capacity if you'd like. All right. So I guess diving right in. I know you did kind of like a little bit touch on this, just about like general admissions into HSS broadly, I suppose. But what does I'm gonna say the requirements to get into HSS look like when setting yourself up in high school?
Students in high school, there's no specific courses they must take for admission to HSS. Unlike some of the science, maybe where they want you to have high school science, nursing want you to have biology and things like that. All that students need to do is make sure they meet the admission requirements for Memorial. The 70% average, and that's the 70% average in English courses. You have to have your English, your math. I can always have to think about these, Jen. And
I can
then
help you if you need to bail.
there's the English and the math you have to have through school because you can't get into one without a high school math course. And then there are two electives and a language or social science course. Have I
Yeah,
got them
so
all?
yeah, yeah, exactly. The elective will depend on the curriculum specific, of course. Yeah, how many elective you need.
And you need that minimum overall 70 average in the courses. So if
It's
you meet
actually the
the
overall.
yeah, if you meet admission standards to Memorial when you apply, you can directly go in and say, I want to do a BA, a major in any of the HSS subject areas. The 4 science areas, computers, math, stats, and psych, they're separate. They have actual competitive entry. So you do first year courses for admission, and then you apply for admission to those majors. But anything else within HSS, you just simply declare it when you apply. And when you apply, if you're not sure, don't worry about it. Just declare the BA and you can come in, take some electives, try some things. And if you find out that, you do a classics course and you go, wow, I really love classics, maybe that'll become your major.
This is a question that I do get on occasion out in the realm of high schools, is that is there a benefit to, if you're kind of unsure about like your major within HSS or just even where you're going at university at all, is there a benefit to completely just going into general and not declaring HSS and just going general, or just going into HSS and then not declaring a major instead? Like, is there a perk to being within like a faculty at that point?
If you're in a faculty, after your first year, you will, if you do your at least 27 credit hours, at least 9 courses in your first year, you will be eligible for scholarships in that faculty. So for that reason, it's beneficial to declare yourself in a faculty. If that's not something that bothers you or you're interested in or is important to you, then no, you don't generally have to. In some cases, being in a faculty will also give you some priority for course registration. In some cases, departments limit their courses or initially restrict their courses to students in their programs and then later open them up to students from other program areas. So, generally, I encourage somebody, if you think you're going to do a BA area, declare the BA initially so that you're at least considered part of that faculty. You'll get information emails from us. You can contact either one of us, no problem, to book us through Navigate and such, to book appointments. And like I say, you will get, in some cases, priority in some course registration and priority consideration for things like scholarships and the Dean's List.
Perfect. And scholarship wise, are there any like specific scholarships you want to shout out that students should have in their sightlines, that they should know about, that are either application based or non-application based beyond that of general admission scholarships, I suppose?
Renee M., do you want to tackle the scholarships?
Okay. Entrance wise, there's one that is based on, and Renee can correct me because this is my first time doing this. One that's based on the high school marks. And otherwise, the scholarships are based on your first year, your grades and everything in your first year. But we do have one in particular that we look at in the fall of the year. So students going through their first year, it's a HESLIP scholarship, and it's valued at $15,000. And that's based on academic standing, which is full-time, your 27 or more credit hours during the scholarship year. And it's also looking at your your community involvement. So whether that's work experience and or volunteer experience on campus or in the community. And it's a very significant scholarship for people to really try and put together a really good application for it. And then we have other scholarships as well. And we're hoping now this year to revamp our scholarships page as well with more interactive applications and more information, and then have some workshops available to students as well so we can discuss it further along the way.
I'm a big supporter of scholarships, so get your scholarships, people. We love free money in this house.
Yeah, most of our scholarships are actually awarded based on academic standing. There's no application process for most of them. There are a few that have an application process, and we'll usually put out a call. Renee will send out a call and say, hey, we're looking for applications for this. We're looking for applications for that. And as Renee said, we're hoping to get a scholarship page set up for those application processes so that next year we'll be able to tell the students, go here, check out the scholarships, apply for the ones that you think are applicable.
Great. As wearing your advisor hat, I suppose, how would you advise students that are very undecided or unsure about where they would like to, why they would like to pursue HSS, or even just a specific major in HSS? Like how would you like help them determine what might be a good fit for them?
I'll usually suggest that they try a course. If they're not sure what they want to do for their major, I'll usually ask, well, what interests you? Does history interest you? If you're interested in history or English or, folklore, maybe you might want to consider one of those. Take an introductory course in that subject area, see how it goes, see if you enjoy it. If you go, yeah, I really like this, I want to make this my major. Or maybe you go, no, that's not what I thought it was at all. I don't want to do that. Because the BA has electives. Most students get 14 courses of electives for their BA. So they've got a lot of electives where they can play around. If they're unsure, they can try things and see, yes, I like this. I'm going to make it my major or my minor program. Or, no, I don't want to do any more of that. I totally get it. Sometimes we do things and we realize, yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah, sometimes that process of elimination is better than process of knowing, depending on your experience and things for sure. And let's say a lot of students who don't have the opportunity to try some of the HSS subjects within high school, like especially folklore is a great example. Like that's one that a lot of folks don't necessarily happen to have a lot of knowledge about going in. It's always great to get those like samples in a little bit early to see like a survey. That's one mistake that I feel like I made. I wish I had explored more of my electives earlier on in my degree, so that I could have had a better sense of what I would have liked to do, because I probably would not have started in French as my minor. I ended up switching to gender studies in my last year of study because I had determined maybe I should have tried that sooner, and I loved it. And it was like, oh darn, I'm going to now just do a complete minor from scratch right at the very end. And it still worked out for me because I hadn't done any electives up until that point. So the switch worked, but I wouldn't put it up to the last wire for everybody. It's not my recommendation for sure. Don't be like me.
We often get students come in and they don't know what they want, and maybe a family member or a friend says do this, so they'll start it, they declare it, and then they think they have to stay with it. I keep reminding them nothing is written in stone. You can easily change your major, change your minor, and like I say, with 14 electives, we can easily say, okay, you've got a couple of courses done, no sweat, we'll use them as electives, let's try something else.
Yeah, I'm gonna say some kind of I'm gonna say a misconception of employability over like certain majors and minors being better than others for whatever reason. And I had that idea in my mind, and it certainly did not pan out to be true for me at all. So I really hope that's not the case where like, you have external influences that make you feel like you have to do one thing over the other. You'll know once you find the thing. It's like it sparks joy, if you will.
And the
Um,
BA, one good thing is that flexibility. So, if you change your mind, and having a BA, does mean you are flexible. You have those skills. Yeah, you don't come out a teacher, you don't come out an engineer or a nurse, but you do have skills that are transferable across a wide variety of jobs.
Totally. Um, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, Renee, that a common theme among the students tonight was that time management piece. Do you have any words of wisdom or advice for students who are looking at time management themselves going into HSS, like expectation wise?
Um, Expectation wise, you're not in as many classes in a BA as you are, say, in a science program where you have 3 hours of class plus 3 hours of lab for each of your subjects often. But you do have a lot of reading, you do have a lot of research and a lot of essays and such that you're writing. So, Danica earlier said, 3 hours of class a day for her BA versus she's now like 6 or 7 a day for her BED program. You are still going to spend a lot of your time learning that time management to manage your here's my class time. Okay, I've got to read this novel for my English, or I have this essay I have to write for my political science, and I have to research. So you will learn to balance things. And getting that academic balance and that personal life balance where you still get to spend time with your friends, your family, do the things you get enjoyment out of. Um, that may take a little while, may take a year to get that balance going, but that's something that each student will work out for themselves. For me, I found having an actual sort of paper journal, because there was no electronic when I went through, writing my day out so I knew where my classes were. I knew I had a 2 hour break here. That 2 hour break, I was going to go and I was going to do this, whether it was an activity or visit with some friends, or whether it was I was going to go to the library and write this essay or, finish this paper. And the counseling center, which everybody thinks of in terms of personal counseling, they offer a whole pile of courses to help students with their time management skills, with their study skills, their note taking and such. So just, coordinating yourself, making sure that you set aside time to get your schoolwork done, but give yourself some time for some relaxation and personal activities as well. Because otherwise, it's no fun just being school, school, school.
Yeah, and I agree with you wholeheartedly about the timing aspect, especially with like a Bachelor of Arts, how like flexible it can be and how moldable it can be into your own time frame with like the amount of choice in courses and like the amount of time frames that those courses occupy. Like if you're not a morning person, don't take morning courses. Like I was the difference for me, it was the difference between taking 4 courses rather than 5 of like having a life outside of studying and then, being a happy, healthy person. It's wild how different even just like making one little change to your schedule can like really make an impact on your time and how you treat yourself and be happy all around, right? Um, so I think that's a great idea to especially reach out to like counseling and avail of those sessions as well. Um, all right. One thing that I've actually heard from students increasingly over the last few years, and even just this year more so that I've been out in high school, are folks looking to chat about joint degrees and or taking a general interest in the IBA. So like a little bit of a different swing to doing just a straight BA. Is there something that you would like to like point out with either like the IBA specifically or joint degrees as being like notably different from a traditional Bachelor of Arts?
The joint degrees and the IBA can be a little trickier to plan and coordinate all the courses and get them done within your typical 4 year time frame, especially if you leave it till after your first year, into your second year before you decide I'm going to do that joint program or I'm going to do the IBA program. So if you're thinking about it, start off with it. You can always change your mind and say, no, I'm not going to do the joint. I'm just going to do the BA, or I'm not going to do the IBA. I'm just going to do the BA. It's much easier to drop back to a basic BA than at towards the end, halfway through your degree, decide to switch over to one of those programs, just because course planning can be quite tight. The joint programs, like there are a minimum of 120, or sorry, 135 for the BA BSc, minimum of 150 credit hours for the BA BCom. You know, the longer you leave it, you're definitely or more than likely going to go over that minimum course requirement. And courses are expensive. So, you know, we do like to try and get you through in a timely manner so that you're not having to spend an extraordinary amount of money.
Fair. Um, in particular, the folks that I've been chatting with recently, like looking at um, the IBA or just joint programs in general, it seems like the almost a level of interest has been, I would say, peaked within the students in like grade 12, especially. So it's interesting to see that like maybe at one point it was more of like a maybe we'll decide later, but some people like coming with the action plan to do so. And even a lot of students in the last few months asking about just going right into like double majors even. Is there something about double majors that you would like to like point towards as well?
Um, no, the only thing I'd point out about a double major, excuse me, again, if you're considering it, I usually encourage, you know, it'd be nice if you started earlier rather than later, or if you're considering it, try not to fill up your electives, because doing a double major, a BA is 120 credit hours, 40 courses, whether you do a major and a minor with electives or a double major with electives. The double majors require more courses, so you get less electives. So if you're thinking at all about doing a second major for your BA, try and concentrate your courses on the core, the major you're doing, and if you're doing a minor that you're thinking, yeah, maybe I'm going to up it to a second major, you know, concentrate on those courses rather than electives, because it makes that transition into the second major much quicker, much easier, and hopefully then you're not going to have to pick up additional courses beyond those 120 credit hours.
Perfect. That's a really great point. And in the same like realm, even the folks looking to maybe do a like a certificate and diploma alongside their degree. Uh, do you see more students looking to add those onto a degree to like increase employability or like diversify and have an additional like option instead of like double majoring? So doing like a traditional major minor and then adding a certificate or diploma onto their program?
A lot of students will work the certificate or diploma into their degree program. Some cases to augment what they're already doing. So, you know, maybe they're doing political science and they might pick up the diploma in public policy. Maybe they're doing English and might pick up a diploma in creative writing or a certificate in film studies. The only thing I'll point out is there's a calendar regulation that says you can use a course for two things, but not three. So you could use a course in a degree and a certificate, a degree and a diploma, a certificate and a diploma, but not in all three. So if you're looking at things and you want to do a major in something and a certificate and a diploma, it all requires, you know, 2 or 3 courses that are the same. I'll usually say, okay, you know, look at them. What do you want more? Right? So the certificate, diploma, whichever one you're more interested in, whichever one you're least interested in, I go, okay, drop that one and do the one that interests you the most.
Is there a particular benefit to adding a certificate and diploma onto a degree as while you're doing it? Like anything in particular that you feel like would be beneficial to have one?
English, if you're doing English and then you're interested in stage, screen, interested in production, TV production, or, you know, stage production, doing the English degree or communications degree with the diploma in stage and screen technique is a great combination. A lot of times students will just pick something up out of interest. Maybe they want to do primary elementary education. They might pick up the Newfoundland and Labrador Studies Certificate because there's a lot of the primary programs dealing with Newfoundland culture. Or they might pick up the Indigenous, especially if they want to go work somewhere. That might be up north or where they would be involved with Indigenous students, just to give them some background in the area. So sometimes students do it out of interest. Sometimes they just do it out of wanting to pick up some extra knowledge in a specific area, a little bit more concentrated maybe than their general major is.
Totally. I think that's a great perspective to have, and just like an option just to go with.
And it's
And
always nice to have another credential on your resume besides your degree. And in some of the diplomas, you get some practical experience. So you're out working somewhere and you get a chance to make connections, people that could be references on a resume. So, making those connections is also useful. Some of our degree programs have internships. So again, students get to go out, work in the area in their sociology, say. We also have one through economics has it, sociology has it, archaeology, no, political science and economics are the three BA majors that you can do some of these internships. And no, I have that wrong. Those are the three that are the co-ops. The internships are communications and sociology. So, there's co-ops and internships that students can do to get some more practical experience as well.
internships and co-ops are really awesome. And for folks, I say for folks who aren't necessarily familiar with like co-ops and internships, like what does that look like within a Bachelor of Arts degree?
An internship is a course, so it's usually around 3 hours a week. You spend out working with a group somewhere. And then during the course, depending on who's teaching it, they may have you do a project. They may have you do several reports, reflective writing as you go through the course. And co-ops are full semesters where you are somewhere, you're in a co-op placement, working maybe, Newfoundland, Canada, international, whatever the program has. And you spend the full semester doing the co-op. And again, during the co-op semester, you write several reports that are assigned by the co-op office. So co-ops give you a little more practical experience. Internships kind of get your feet wet, just get a taste for it.
Just a sample, if you will. And with that being said, with like the internships and co-ops being available, what are other ways that students can get involved within HSS broadly, like work opportunities as a student, or research opportunities, extracurricular activities, anything like that?
Do you want to tackle that one, Renee? We've been through this recently, so.
Yeah, the one thing that they can do that I'm aware of is they can also take on volunteer opportunities. So people that do their milieu, say in St. Pierre, can do English tutoring to people in St. Pierre, different thing, work with different groups and stuff like that.
And one of the other things, like clubs and societies, join your club or society, get involved in, with other students doing the same program as you, the English major, the Miss Memorial English Student Society, the CUGS, which is the Geography Society, or MUGS, MUGS, Memorial University Geography Society. Join your society. Like Renee said, do some volunteer work. Some faculty will offer MUSET positions, paid positions for students that'll come work with them. Some faculty will, take students on volunteer that may work in some of the labs. We have a film unit. The film unit will sometimes take students on. They assist with the production crews and they learn an awful lot of skills associated with filmmaking. Same thing with the Maritime Studies archives. Similar thing with the archaeology labs. Some of the faculty will take students in and show them the basics of how material is preserved and kept and cataloged and such. So, talking to your faculty members and getting involved with some of your faculty members as well. Definitely getting involved in your faculty is an important thing.
One of the things that you mentioned as like being MUSEPs, for the folks in the crowd, would you be able to describe what a MUSEP is just within the purview of MUN broadly, but also within HSS as well?
MUSEPs are on-campus work placements. They typically are 40, sometimes 60 hours for the semester. Students get paid for the work, and they're offered by different faculties, different departments. People apply for them. They get a MUSEP position for a student. It goes up, it's advertised, and the student gets to work with a faculty member, maybe on their research, like I say, maybe doing some work in their lab, etc. There is an equivalent for international students, and I can never remember the name for it. Do you remember, Jen?
ISWEP.
ISWEP, International Student Work Placement, yes. So, for both international and Canadian students, those positions are available. They come up the beginning of every semester, like sort of the first day of classes, and they're up typically for a week. And then the students are hired and they work for the week. And for the most part, they're very flexible. So it's easy for a student to coordinate them around their classes.
Yeah, I think they're a great program to be a part of, especially if you're looking to dive a little bit deeper into a certain area, or if you're planning on going into research and a professor is working on that similar area, just to pursue a MUSEP in like that area or career, because it's a great way to sample that while getting paid at the same time. I've had a few within HSS in the past with like sociology and whatnot, doing focus groups and that kind of thing. So it was really fun opportunity, and I imagine factors into how I've arrived even sitting here in front of everyone today. So it's a really great program to shout out. So there's a student here who is a mature student with the BA, and they're looking at pursuing archaeology primarily online. And I believe I think they're wondering about maybe transfer credits since they seem to be taking courses at a different university. So I guess that would be the summary of that. Is there like what would that process look like if somebody is currently enrolled in another university looking to transfer here to do a BA in archaeology?
So somebody coming to do a BA and having courses at another institution, they first have to apply to Memorial and be admitted to Memorial. Once they're admitted, the registrar's office will review any transcript they have for potential transfer credits that could be then used towards their program here at Memorial. There's a transfer credit evaluation form on the registrar's webpage, and there is a fee to pay for it, but it's much cheaper than paying for the courses. So, if they think they have courses that'll transfer, no problem. There are limits of what you can transfer. You have to do at least half of your BA at Memorial. So technically it's more than half the credit hours. So of the 40 courses, 21 of them have to be completed at Memorial. For a major, more than half of the major courses have to be done at Memorial. For the minor, at least 4 of the courses for the minor have to be completed at Memorial. So there are limits on transfer courses, but yes, students can definitely do courses elsewhere and bring them with them, transfer them into Memorial. But as I said, unfortunately, the registrar's office will not process transfer credits unless a student has applied for and accepted admission to Memorial.
Great answer.
The other thing about online, the BA cannot be completed online. In some cases, up to 75% may be completed online, but for the most part, most of our courses are on-campus courses for our majors and our minors. Electives and the core, yep, you can typically get those online, but most major and minor courses, students have to come to campus to complete them.
Right. I think that answers that quite well. If someone is, as we've kind of chatted about, somebody who might be transferring, is there any recommendations for students who might be like older than average, looking to return to studies, who might have been like in the workforce, or are looking to um, make a change over into academics? Is there something that, like, words of wisdom for folks that aren't necessarily exiting high school in particular?
Um, Mature students, so yeah, it might be a little bit of an adjustment back to education and back to study and that time management and everything else. Um, but definitely don't be shy. Ask for help. There's lots of resources on campus, help with writing, help with math, help with languages. We're here, Academic Advising Center is here to help students with their courses. The big thing is don't be shy. Ask for help. If you're not sure about something, just ask.
And there's so many of us like you folks that if we don't happen to know the answer, we know somebody who knows the answer. We have connections, so we can
Yeah.
direct you in the right direction. So again, to echo that, don't be afraid to ask, because we're here to answer the questions. That is our purpose. We're the question answerers of
That's our
the
purpose in
university.
life.
We're the knowledge bank. We strive to know as much things as we can help you with.
I do
All
have one
right.
thing I'd like to show, if you
Yeah.
don't mind.
Oh, go right ahead.
I'm going to share my screen again. And right now, my screen is the MUN landing page. If you just go to mun.ca, this is where you'll come. One thing that is very useful is the sample first year programs. So a lot of the students that are here tonight are looking for information on what do I do in my first year? What courses am I going to take when I come to Memorial? So if I go first year information, and even with my crappy spelling and typing, it'll still come up. First year information. First year information website gives you sample first year programs for everything. And St. John's campus versus the Grenfell. We're St. John's. Here's all of the schools and faculties. So we're humanities and social sciences. You want information on what you need for the Bachelor of Arts, IBA, the joint degrees, Bachelor of Arts and Science or Commerce. You want to do a communications major? Here's the courses you should be taking your first semester, your second semester. So this first year information is extremely useful for students. If I shut this down, we come back and I can put a link that'll take you right to that sample first year page in the chat. So you might want to cut and paste that if you're seriously considering coming and you want to do history or something and wonder what do I need to take. That's a great place. Or even you want to do nursing. The information is there for nursing. The information is there for the education programs, business programs, engineering. So that's a very useful website for students looking to come for first year. And especially where they're not on campus, they don't get to easily meet with somebody. They're not in a Newfoundland high school where one of us is going to go out and sit and meet with them in the spring and go over everything. So that can provide a lot of really useful information for students.
Even just giving you that little extra information about what a research and writing course is, for example, to give you a little bit of background on like some specific terms that we might have going on, for example. I think that's
And
a
a
great resource
language
to
course,
use.
what languages we offer,
Exactly.
right? Rather than just French, German, Russian, English, Sanskrit, Greek, Latin, Inuktitut, lots of languages.
So I think my last question before we get too close to the end is about Go Abroad programs. So like the IBA is there as an option for Go Abroad, but we also have Harlow. So would you be able to talk about like maybe some faculty abroad programs related to or just international travel possibilities within HSS?
International travel available to anybody in HSS. Anybody can do a study abroad semester or even a year. It does take some planning, some coordination, and there's Go Abroad coordinators that will assist with that. So there's specific HSS Go Abroad coordinators that deal with humanities and social science students specifically. Department and such specific programs, we do not offer a huge number of them just because the Harlow campus is shared across, everybody. So, Grenfell campus is competing for time there, as is science, and education. But we do have communications in English often do a program, sometimes in the fall, sometimes in the winter, where students go to Harlow and they do 3 or 4 courses for their program. History has done some in the past. Religious studies have done some. We don't, language, there used to be a Russian school on a regular basis. That's kind of been shut down for a while now. German would do one occasionally. Um, that one, it's been a while since that's been offered. I haven't heard if they're going to look at starting it up or not. Um, like I say, we do have to share. So, HSS's turn comes up every so often. And then within the departments in HSS, people are going to be competing for that slot to run their program. So the best thing is if they interest you, talk to your department and ask them, will they be offering one in the future? Yeah, you come in your first year and they may say, yes, next year we're going to offer these courses. And they may be at a level that you'll be able to work into next year, or, maybe that it just won't work for you that year, but hopefully, the next year or your last year, you might be able to pick something up. But Go Abroad, student can go anywhere. And like I say, there are Go Abroad coordinators that will sit with students, help them identify. A lot of cases, students know, I want to go to this country. They may not know a specific university, but they'll know they want to go to a specific country. And the coordinator can help them identify the universities that would offer courses that may or may not, transfer then easily into their degree. It's very easy to get electives on a Go Abroad, not always easy to get a course that will transfer directly into a program. So I always encourage students, if they want to do a Go Abroad, concentrate on those major and minor courses during the time at MUN, and electives, no sweat to pick up electives on a study abroad.
And for the folks in attendance here, Harlow is our international campus over in England. That is a Memorial University campus. So that's what we were referring to in reference to Harlow specifically. But then, of course, you can go to other universities, such as what Renee was saying. All right.
Students go all over the place. We have a student in Japan this year. One of our HESLIP applicants is Renee mentioned the HESLIP earlier. We interviewed her from Japan. She was in Japan doing a study abroad.
That's pretty neat, honestly. All right, so as we're coming up to time, I'm gonna let you folks give everyone let's say final words of wisdom, anything you feel like you've left out so far that you want to conclude with. So I'll give you a chance to both respond to that, and then we'll wrap up here.
Renee, do you want to have a go?
Okay, I would basically say don't feel that you're left alone. There's always somebody there that can help. There's your advisors, there's your faculty, there's other staff, there's student groups, there's counseling center, there's all kinds of resources available. And yeah, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
Yeah,
Great.
Can never reiterate that enough. Don't be shy. And 9 chances out of 10, even in a class, if you have a question, 9 chances out of 10, somebody else in that room is wondering the same thing. I just threw up the link there for the HSS webpage, for our
Mhm.
Humanities and Social Sciences webpage. Students want to have a look at that. There's a programs tab there, and you can find information there for each of the departments and the programs they offer.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Renee and Renee, for the awesome information and the great chat that we had. This is the last session of the last night of the virtual open house, so we don't have anything else coming up for you virtual open house wise. But we will have our recordings posted for the previous sessions, hopefully within a few weeks. So you can check back on that landing page and see if there's any recordings there for you if you wanted to rewatch this session or any session that you may have missed previously. So thank you all for coming.
And before
Hope
Jen
you all...
shuts you off, grab those links, copy and paste them out of your chat into a Word document or something, or take a photograph of it, whatever works for you, if you want to check out some of those links. Because, of course, once you sign out, they're gone.
Exactly. So I think that's a great tip, and I will let you folks go, and I'll hang out here just a minute. So as long as people want to grab their links and whatnot, so it won't just close on them. All right. Good night, all.
Thank you. Good night.